spec and an oval spec. Other than that, since 2020, the cars have all been
so IndyCar does like the oval tracks and they do street race ones where it'll be like F1 courses essentially. What is going on, guys? It is JJ here, back with a new video, and today we're going to take a look for the first time ever at IndyCar. Obviously, the IndyCar series rivals F1 in nearly every way, shape, and form in terms of how, you know, the cars are made, how they are compared, the courses, the production, I mean, how the sport is done in general, and I need to learn it because the Indy 500 happened last weekend. I think it was legitimately on the same weekend as Monaco last weekend, and I did not watch it purely for the fact that I'm going to not live react to it, but I'm going to watch it for the first time myself, and then just so I kind of want to see the comparisons between IndyCar and F1. It's not like we are going to make it a series. We're going to make a little bit of a series with IndyCar versus F1, how it compares, how it differs, and there is one man who still could become a Triple Crown winner by winning the Indy 500. I believe that is Fernando Alonso. And I would love to see it, and before he ends up, you know, like retiring for good. But I need to learn more about IndyCar so I can actually fully enjoy that when that happens, maybe next year, 2 years from now, or 5 years from now. Who knows? I mean, Fernando Alonso is almost 40 years old, so I hope it happens beforehand. But anyway, we're going to take a look at IndyCar for the first time. Let me know what you guys think on the channel. If you guys want to see more IndyCar on the channel, let me know. I will happily do that. I do want to see how Grosjean's doing, because Romain Grosjean is a unique enigma. And plus Haas is in IndyCar, and I want to know the comparisons between Haas F1 and Indy Haas. So yeah, let's get into the video. As well, guys, you can obviously find the original video on, I think it's the Indy Fanatics channel. Go check it out. The link will be in the description.
Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for
British?
IndyCar content with weekly...
Wait, they're British IndyCar people? IndyCar is just in America, right? I'm not wrong in saying that, right? I'm pretty sure it is just in America.
Podcasts and feature videos.
Very interesting.
Welcome back to the
Also,
channel
those
and to
IndyCars
another
look sick.
feature video. Last time out, we looked at the career of
I was gonna
NASCAR
say,
legend
who is
Jimmy
Jimmy
Johnson, so if
Johnson?
you haven't already, check that one out.
I
Remember,
don't know
if
Jimmy
there is
Johnson's.
a driver, team or topic you'd like us to look at in the future, comment below.
But today
yeah,
we
it
have a
was Jimmy
slightly
Johnson.
different video for you. For new fans or returning fans who just want to remind themselves about the finer details of the sport, we are going to be explaining everything you need to know about the series heading into the season. So let's jump straight into it.
So let's start off with the engines and the cars used in the series. There are two engine
Bro, Indy cars look sick, you know. They look pretty nice. They look super nice. This looks like a
within the
McLaren
series,
IndyCar.
Honda and Chevy. They provide the teams with their versions of the 2.2 litre V6 twin turbocharged engine that produces around 550
American
to
versus
700
Japanese
horsepower
engines?
depending on the turbo boost pressure used at the track they are racing at. Let's use the Indy 500 as an example for the distribution of the grids between the engine manufacturers, as that will be where the most entries are over the course of the season. Out of the confirmed rides, the grid is split between 15 Chevy powered cars and 17 Honda powered cars, and there isn't really much at all to split between the two engines.
I feel like
the
I know the
series
name
uses a
already.
standardized fuel for its competitors in the form of the Speedway E85, which is a blend of 85% ethanol and 15% gasoline.
Moving on to the car itself, and here's a stock chassis used by every team in the series, which is provided by Dallara, called the IR12. It was first introduced in 2012 and
So
also
what
is
separates
fitted
the
with
teams
the
then if they're all the
IR18
same
aero
chassis?
kit, which is a standardized aero kit after the lack of success of the 2015 to 17 aero kits provided by the engine manufacturers. The only difference in the aero kits now is that there is a road and street course spec and an oval spec. Other than that, since 2020, the cars have all been fit.
So IndyCar does like the oval tracks and they do street race ones where it'll be like F1 courses essentially. So there could be like F1, like makeshift IndyCar tracks that you could put F1 cars on in the US that they could use. Like imagine IndyCar did a Miami series
Fitted with the new aero screen.
and use the
All
same.
cars
They could not
operate
use the
without
same track
power
that
steering.
F1 uses.
They all use Firestone Firehawk tyres.
Now the tyres are an interesting one because it is the first note of where we can say teams and strategy make the difference. So there is the sticker red tyres, which is the softer and quicker compound, and there is the sticker blacks, which is the harder, slower but more durable compound. At the start of the race, drivers have freedom of choice over the tyres they use, but both compounds must be used over the course of the race. Indycar is also a series where refueling is allowed during the race, so fuel strategy and management also comes into play. And the pit stops overall are definitely key moments within the races. In Indycar, there are only 6 members allowed over the wall to perform the duty of a pit stop. The first job is to activate the pressurized pneumatic jacks with a pressurized air hose inserted at the rear of the car. After this, the other 5 mechanics are responsible for changing the tyres and refueling. The tyre changers will also be responsible for making any adjustments to the front wing, clearing any debris from the car, performing minor repairs and taking off a sheet from the aeroscreen. The last job before the car pulls off is to spray water around the fuel port to wash off any excess or spilt fuel.
Now, mentioned in the pit stops was part of something where the individual teams can make a real difference between each other, and that is the setup. So mention that the front wing angle can be adjusted slightly during the race, but working with the race engineers, the driver and the team can work on setups for the weekend through practice into qualifying and the race to find the best balance in the car for the weekend to hopefully achieve the best result. Now, like anything, the bigger teams have access to better drivers and engineers, so therefore the improvements and effectiveness of these setups.
So richer teams can hire better engineers to help fix their cars, but they have the same chassis, they have to use the same tires, which in F1 they use the same tires too, so that's not a big change. But the same bodywork is different, and then the same engines. You get a choice of 2 engines, so Chevy or Honda. And the biggest changes are what? What did they say? The aerodynamics of the front wing, the bodywork, and how well your pit stop crew does. That kind of blows my mind a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I thought there'd be more to differentiate.
Changes overall lead to better race cars over the season, leading to those cars competing for the championship. Though with the Indy 500, the biggest race of the season, it really is an open playing field, as any team is capable of over the month of May of finding a quick setup and having a chance of winning the ultimate prize.
Well, as we talked about drivers having an influence on the setups, let's talk about them and the calendar a bit more. So this year is a 17 race calendar, and over the past decade that has been around the normal amount of races you would expect to see in an IndyCar season, usually running from March to September. The calendar is comprised of road courses, which are permanent racing facilities, street courses, which are temporary circuits constructed within the cities themselves, and ovals, the traditional racetrack in America with a history stretching back to the early 1900s.
So which they use for Indycar and NASCAR.
And drivers have to be adept at all 3 disciplines to stand a chance of winning the championship. Unlike other series, IndyCar drivers and teams aren't restricted to running a full calendar, number of cars per team, and even in rare cases being linked to the same car all season. As with anything in motorsport, money talks, and there has to be a certain amount of funding behind a driver provided by either the team, driver, or external sponsors, or a combination of those 3. Some drivers within the series won't be able to fund a full season, and the best example at the moment is probably Connor Daly with Ed Carpenter Racing. Since his debut with Dale Coyne, he struggled to secure a full-time seat in the series, often running part-time with Ed Carpenter, but also in a situation that arose with Max Chilton at Carlin Motorsports, not wanting to run ovals other than Indy. He could run a complete season just spread across 2 teams. Sometimes it's not the financial constraints that stop a driver from running full-time in the series, it might be out of choice from the driver. So for example, Jimmy Johnson and Roman Grosjean both have opted not to run the ovals this year on the grounds of not feeling comfortable safety-wise, as ovals provide high speed, high octane action, but naturally with speeds over 200 miles per hour, that brings with it an increased risk.
So Grosjean doesn't want to crash, is what you're telling me. Roman Grosjean does not want to crash. I'm so surprised Grosjean did Roman Grosjean run the Indy 500 then? Because that's an oval race, isn't it? That's so interesting. Dude, this blows my mind. So essentially drivers can opt out of certain races and just leave certain races, and they just have a new driver to just fill the spot, I guess. Fair play, Indy. You know what? I like the sport. I can dig it.
The cars and the people who drive them. But how do those drivers score points? Well, actually, a quick interjection, there is no Constructors' Championship like Formula 1 due to the amount of spec parts in the series, and there is a Manufacturers' Cup between Chevy and Honda, but it is certainly not of any real note compared to the Drivers' Championship
battle between
and the
two
Indy
teams.
500. So we'll put it up on screen so you can follow it easily. But if you're first, you award 50 points, second 40, and third 35. There's then a 3-point difference between third and fourth. From fourth to 10th, there's then a decrease in 2 points per position, with 10th being awarded 20 points. From 10th to 25th, there is a decrease in 1 point awarded per.
There's way too many points. There's way too many points going on. That's so dumb. That's so dumb. 25th should not get points. 25th. Let me say that out loud again. 25th should not get points. How does that make sense?
Per position, with 25th being awarded 5 points, and then the remaining entrants to a maximum of 33 at the Indy.
So 25th, it doesn't matter if you're 25th or 33rd. That's so stupid.
So if you start a race and aren't disqualified for foul play, every driver will score a point within the race. The season finale before 2020 added to this awarded double points. That is yet to be confirmed this will return in 2021. But assume it to be the case. Bonus points are awarded as follows: 1 for pole position, 1 for leading a lap within the race, and 2 points for leading the most laps. The Indy 500 is also double points award in race, so doing well there can have a big impact on your season, but it also has a unique qualifying point system. If you score pole for the Indy 500, you score 9 points, and this decreases down by 1 point per position to 9.
I'm trying not to speak bad. I'm trying not to speak bad on them. But it just blows my mind, this point system. This point system is stupid. At best, it's dumb. Maybe that's just me being modest, or me being a dick, but Jesus Christ.
Awarded 1 point.
Whoa, you pulled the short straw to do the numbers game there, Stephen, but hopefully we have made it clear for you, and with any of the points in today's video, if you have any questions, comment below and we'll do our best to answer. Now, the Indy 500 is arguably the biggest race in any motorsport calendar in the world, and definitely, out of the prestigious historic races, is the most exciting currently. To win the Indy 500 makes you a legend of the series and can define careers. To win it once is an incredible achievement. To win it multiple times is something truly special, and it is almost an event in itself within the season. The month of May is basically Indy 500 month. You have the Indy road course race near the start of the month, and then everything after that is all geared towards the year's running of the 500 at the end of May. There are multiple practice days, including Carb Day, which with traditionally the Freedom 100 running has almost become a mini event in itself. Though sadly this will not be the case this year. But qualifying is where it gets really interesting. On Saturday, all entries to the 500 will get at least one running to set the fastest average speed over 4 laps. The qualifying method that has been in place every year since 1939. From this day, entries 10 to 30 will be locked in. On the Sunday, 1 to 9 will fight it out for pole, getting 1 attempt each to set the fastest time. At the other end of the field, there is only a maximum of 33 cars allowed to enter the race, and due to Indy being the race that encourages the most one-time entry entrants for the season, there is usually in excess of 33 cars trying to qualify for the race, and the cutting of the field is referred to as bump day. Like the pole setters, each driver will get one attempt to set a time to fight for the last 3 spots available to compete in the big spectacle the following weekend. The race is of course 500 miles round the 2.5 mile oval, and the winner receives not only a place in history, but their face will be sculpted onto the famous Borg Warner trophy just like every other champion before them, and the team and the driver receive a specially made ring to commemorate the victory. They are also hugely financially rewarded for their success, and they can make all the investment into the career worth it to that point, and then some.
So we've covered the main event, and the last thing we will look at in this video is the qualifying for regular season's races. So there's a separate qualifying procedure for oval races and road and street courses. On an oval, the running order is determined by reversing the championship standings, with the lowest position going first and the highest going last. The driver is then permitted 2 warm-up laps before 2 time laps, with the aggregate time will be taken to determine their starting position in the race. On road and street courses, Qualifying is split into 3 segments. In segment 1, the entries are divided into 2 groups, who each group get 10 minutes to set their fastest lap. What is a curveball within this is that yellow flags are included in the 10 minutes, so if someone has a big off, it can sabotage the group qualifying. The fastest 6 in each group progress to segment 2, and the eliminated drivers are assigned positions from 13th downwards, with group 1 occupying the odd numbers and group 2 occupying the even numbers. In segment 2 is another 10-minute session, including cautions, and then the top 6 progress to segment 3, and 7 to 12 are assigned their position based on fastest times. Segment 3 is then a pole shootout between the 6 remaining drivers, and they have a guaranteed 6 minutes of green flag track conditions to post a time.
Whoa, okay, I think we...
Dude, I'm lost. I am very lost. It's not like F1, but it is. But it's not. But it is. But it's not. Jesus.
We've covered all the relevant information, though. If you think we have missed something, please comment below. But hopefully that gets you all up to speed ahead of the new season, and you are just itching for those cars to get out on track and for us to go green at Barber on the 18th of April. Also, look out on Sunday for a special bonus.
Okay, yeah, that's the end of the video. I don't know how to. Maybe search in the comments would have a better explanation, but I'm slightly lost. Make a job in explaining to F1 fans who haven't watched IndyCar before. Honestly, they do a very good job. They do a very, very good job. Don't forget, teams don't share pits. Every car gets their own pit box. Oh, okay. Qualifying in normal tracks have a different start-finish line that is placed a bit before the pit entrance, so the car does not have to make a decelerating lap. Very interesting. Okay, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments below on IndyCar. If you guys want to see more of IndyCar, I mean, we're gonna do a reaction to the Indy 500 this year. I just don't know what even happened at the race. I have no clue who won it. I have no clue who lost it. I have no clue what sort of team is involved in it. I don't even know if Honda and Chevy are apart, because this was made in 2021. It could be completely different rules in 2022 that I don't even know. But maybe we'll look at like the history of the Indy 500 or just IndyCar in general and try to figure out who's like the GOAT status. Because I know in F1 we at least have Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Senna, Vettel. Like you know drivers that are the best or were at their peak the best. Whereas IndyCar, the name Andretti looks familiar. That's it. That's it for me. I don't even know who Jimmy Johnson is. Who the hell is Jimmy Johnson? They talked about him a lot, but I have no clue. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching though, and peace.